Olivia show here on the KAZ Radio and Television Network. I'm your host, Olivia Winstead, here serving up the good news happening right here in the city of Cleveland, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Cleveland, whether it's on a football field or in the field of life, at some point we could all use some coaching to encourage us, to inspire us, and to get us back on track. Let's talk about life coaching. What is it? What's the need for it? And how does it benefit us? We will answer all these questions as we are exploring a journey full of health with none other than the founder and life coach herself, Bianca Thomas Veal, a.k.a. Coach B. Coach B, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy you were able to make it out this morning. Happy to have you on the show. Let's talk about what's going on here in the city of Cleveland and throughout our world before we jump right into the topic. So the Cleveland Marathon is going on downtown. The city is buzzing today, so if you guys are looking for something to do, come downtown. You'll see people running around town for this marathon that apparently we do every year. So check out downtown Cleveland today. There's plenty to do down here. And the royal wedding, you guys, royal wedding is going on. Shout out to Bishop Michael Curry. What a wonderful message and absolutely necessary. I just wanted to make a shout out to him for that. And congratulations to Meghan Markle and the royal family. Congratulations. Jumping right into the topic, Bianca.
Yes.
All right, B. So, are you a Cleveland native?
Yes, I was born and raised in inner city Cleveland.
Inner city Cleveland. Where exactly did you grow up here in Cleveland?
Some might call it down the way.
Down the
way. Yeah. So near the downtown area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school?
For majority of my education, went to private school. So I went to, I forgot about this stuff. I spent majority of my middle school years and elementary school years at St. Stanislaus.
At St. Stan.
I went to CCC. Yes, we did. I went to CCC, Cleveland Central Catholic High School, and I graduated with a BA from Bowling Green State University, and I'm currently in the Counseling and Art Therapy program at Ursuline College.
Wonderful. Mm-hmm. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So you went to Bowling Green.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what did you major in?
Yes, my major was psychology, and I minored in art at Bowling Green State University.
Wow. Why psychology?
So I always had a thing for mental processes and understanding mindset ever since like senior year of high school. So I knew I wanted to be a helper. I thought psychology would be a good way to do it. And then I learned about art therapy. And at BG, they didn't have an art therapy program. I didn't find out until after I was accepted. I thought they did. So I kind of had to create that path by having a psych major and an art minor.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What is it that you do here in Cleveland? How are you using this degree and your background in art therapy? What are you doing?
So in Cleveland right now, I would say that I use it in two ways. I use it within my personal journey. Art has always been a way for me to express myself. I feel like art can be any form of creation. Mm-hmm. So it could go as simple as like the way you cook meals, and the way you dress yourself, your style, your self-expression. I also use art when creating the branding for A Journey Full of Health. And I like to doodle and draw all the time. Like art keeps me focused in meetings because I'll doodle all over the place, but that's when I'm most engaged. Professionally, I'm studying art therapy, which is the use of art to help people heal, grow, explore themselves, and release.
Very interesting. So why have you started A Journey Full of Health?
It's one of those things that naturally happened because it was my calling. So A Journey Full of Health began with my weight loss journey. I lost 80 pounds my senior year of college, inspired for both cosmetic purposes as well as health purposes. Cancer popped up in my family.
Why have you started that journey here in Cleveland?
What do you mean?
Well, a journey full of health as a well, as a business, why have you decided to start it here in Cleveland specifically?
Oh, so I really did not mind where I began. It began when I was in college. So it began in Bowling Green, Ohio. It's just I happened to come back home and I developed the LLC here because this is just where I'm at right now.
I
Yeah.
see. So what keeps you connected to the city?
Family. Family and, you know, sometimes God just puts you where He wants you to be. When I left Cleveland to go to college, I promised myself I would never come back, as many Clevelanders do. And I needed to come here to heal and address certain things I was running from. And I've been here ever since, just like, I think getting to a solid place in those relationships I will need. And then I might pass on to other spaces.
Well, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you.
You are a
Thank
needed
you.
member in our community.
Thank you.
So, a journey full of health. You already gave us some bits and pieces to what it is, but why don't you go in depth? What is it? We can start off explaining it as a concept, then describing it as a business. But what is it?
So, a journey full of health, I mean, we travel through life in a variety of ways, right? I think a journey full of health is journeying through your path to your best and healthiest self by the healthiest means possible. Not just not running yourself in the ground, not refusing to take the time to heal, but really being conscious of what you need to be your best self. That's what a journey full of health has been in my personal life, and that is what I try to coach folks through developing on their own so that it's sustainable.
So, what are the services that you provide?
There's an array of them. I'm working on products that will help people that can't afford one-on-one coaching or workshops with me, but I provide speeches, like speaking engagements. I provide one-on-one coaching. I provide workshops. I provide different guides and templates. For example, I have a flat tummy guide that educates folks on what can cause your midsection to be bigger or look bigger. Also, it has 4 weeks worth of workouts within it, a meal plan template, and 1 week of meal planning and education so you can learn what things you should swap out within the meal plan. And that's what I try to do. I try to help people in a way that they'll be independent. I don't want people to be lifelong clients, or when I walk out of their life or they exit my program, they don't know what to do to sustain their health.
Very interesting. So, how do you generate more clients then? Like, once they're done with your services and then move on, like, what does the future look like if they eventually don't even need the service anymore? How do you generate more clientele?
I think that that's left up to God and the spirit of excellence. I think that if you serve people and you do well, that it will naturally spread, and I will, have consistency. And if I have to move on because there are no more people that need my services, I'm sure that there will be opportunities for me to sustain myself financially.
Your business will grow in a different or new way. I'm
Absolutely.
Very excited for you.
Thank
That's
you.
exciting.
Thank you.
Oh, and I need to learn more about this flat tummy guide.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So how did it all begin? So I know it started with your journey, but just tell me, like, where did it begin? Were you sitting in a classroom one day? Did it start in high school? Where did this whole concept, where did this whole business idea stem from?
Okay, so the business component began, and when I went to BGSU, I did nails and makeup for fashion shows and certain students, right? And I would gradually post like my weight loss transformation pictures. So it began with demand. Like, girls on Instagram were like, how are you doing this? Teach me. They were DMing me. And then the idea of becoming a coach evolved from that. So my first cohort of women were BGSU students. It was about 5 of them. From there, I used GroupMe, which is like an app for like instant messaging. And I had about 60 women across the country, even some girls from Africa were in this GroupMe. And it was just about accountability. It was completely free. And that was my first stance at like trying to coach people up and help them along their journeys and provide them with information as well as inspiration. Wow. So it kind of just began organically, yeah.
Wow. And what kind of, when they were, I know you've probably felt some kind of pressure when these people were approaching you. or did you just naturally go in this direction, or did it feel right for you? What kind of pressure were you facing at that point? Because people were watching your journey, you probably had no idea they were watching you so closely.
Yeah, I mean, so there's a personal answer to that and then a professional answer.
Okay.
So the personal answer is when you're on a weight loss journey and you're new to this lifestyle, and now people are looking at you and telling you to keep going or help me, or putting you on a pedestal, that's overwhelming. And that kind of led to me being even more judgmental on myself, having even higher expectations that were perfect, and kind of, pushed me more towards reasons to developing an eating disorder and further distorted eating to continue getting results. But on a professional end, it was natural because I always wanted to help people. I always wanted to counsel. And so coaching was more ideal for me because I could walk alongside people. I didn't have to necessarily be an expert to what they were doing, but I'm an expert in facing fear. I'm an expert in healing. I'm an expert in being reflective and trial and error and seeing things through and allowing God to guide you. So it allowed me to use my natural gifts more so than sitting on the other end of a table or a couch just listening and alluding to be perfecter than I am or perfect. Like I can be transparent now. Therapists kind of have these healthy boundaries that keep them from being personalized, but I can kind of be personalized and say, hey, I don't know that either, or hey, I had this struggle too. You're okay,
So now that you've acquired the degree in psychology, you've acquired skills and knowledge about relationships that are developed among people and people's thought process. How has your educational experience, how has that paired with the business experience of A Journey Full of Health? And when you started A Journey Full of Health, which happened first? The pursuit for the degree or A Journey Full of Health? Did you have any idea that your degree would be necessary for this business?
Did I have any idea that my undergraduate degree?
Yeah.
Well, the business wasn't a thought before I went to college. I didn't start my weight loss journey and get into coaching until my senior year and my first year out of college. So I would definitely say that getting a degree was the first stepping stone. I knew I had to do something. I wasn't really equipped to do the therapy thing without going to school.
Exactly. Yeah.
But as far as, I'm sorry, there was like a couple questions in there. Could you?
There were. So I was saying, did you have any idea, like, did you intentionally go for this basically, did you go intentionally to get this degree in psychology because you knew, like, I don't know what you may have started off when you went to school. Did you change your major so it could fit with A Journey Full of Health? Like, how?
Nope, I always wanted to go to prepare for art therapy, and I saw that through. Even though I knew that I wanted to be a health coach, and I didn't know, like, that came up senior year. I didn't know what path to take to get there. I was going to finish what I started. I felt like, learning about psychology, even though, undergrad in psychology is way more research-based and really understanding the mind. You just have a few classes that dive into those things. It still helped me understand myself and understand the people around me and the world around me in a way that I really enjoyed. And it just happened to tailor into what I'm doing now.
A Journey Full of Health. That's exactly what I was trying to get at. So let's talk about life coaching.
Yes.
What is life coaching? Like, when I think of life coaching, I think of like the little grasshopper, the little cricket on your shoulder,
right,
on the shoulder of Pinocchio, telling you how to do things, how to go about things, or telling you what's right, what's wrong. What is it? Break it down for me, because I have no idea. This is new to me. I've heard of a fitness coach, but a life coach, that's pretty different.
So let's start off with the fitness coach. A fitness coach is someone that is aware enough of the systems within the gym or whatever weight loss program or weight management program that they can help you work through it. They know the different phases. They know enough techniques to lend you some expertise. Same thing with life coaching. I understand the process of having a goal and persevering to reach it. And so I'm helping folks through that process. And I'm helping them hear their inner voice to guide themselves. That's it.
How are you able to serve so many different needs of people through life coaching?
Um, I hate to just say God, but God, like we all have gifts. I'm an empath. I pick up on people's emotions. I can see when someone is struggling. Sometimes I can identify what someone is going through before them, right? So that equips me. I have gone through my own journey of healing, of facing my trauma, of overcoming fear, of facing myself, in the darkness of myself and addressing that and becoming someone that I love. So that equips me. I have an educational background that gives me tools, and it's researched processes that effectively work. And then the third tier is that I've been a case manager. I've worked with folks with substance abuse. I've worked with at-risk youth. I've worked in correctional facilities. And so I understand people not just because I've studied it, but because I've worked within it. Mm-hmm. So all of these things come together to help me be a great coach. And the final thing I really think is just God. Like I pray on situations to get clarity and to remove myself from it and to really see, how should I handle this? How should I guide this? How should I steward this? What are you asking me to do? And what does this person need? So that's that fifth tier that is very, very effective.
Wow. What do you do as a life coach? How do you do it?
That is a process that I'm figuring out.
Is it different for everyone?
Absolutely, because first and foremost, we're going to set your goals. Mm-hmm. You're going to set them, and I'm just going to help you create a strategy to achieve them, right? And then you might have some things that come up that are like self-esteem issues, whereas the next person might have some things come up that are environmentally based, and so we have to create strategies to overcome that. And another person might just have huge fear, and I might need to refer them out to a therapist and have them come back to me or assist while they're in that therapeutic process of how do they address fear, because that might be some mental illness there, some paranoia there, or just some trauma that left some PTSD, So each situation is very unique, but the consistent thing is that I'm there with you, and I will continue to problem solve and help you hear yourself. I'm going to continue to say that I will help you hear yourself because you already have the answers. It's just a matter of someone stewarding it and affirming that that's what you need to do and supporting you while you go through that process.
What is your, and I feel like I already know, but because I have the question, what is your approach? What is your style of coaching? Like the way that you deal with people, I'm sure is different, but what is your unique approach?
I'm curious to know what do you think it is?
Well, I think I think your first approach is to go to God. Mm-hmm. I think you take a spiritual approach in how you deal your business, but in that itself may make your business unique right there. Mm-hmm. What are you providing that's different, or what are you doing that's different for people that they might not get with another life coach or your typical, like, I don't know if this is new to me, so I don't know what a standard services from a life coach would be like. How do you approach people? Your business. How about that?
The amazing thing about A Journey Full of Health is that I'm not approaching people for the most part. Mm-hmm. I am putting Bianca out there. I've put my story out there from when I began to lose weight and I was doing Nails by Bink to going to treatment for my eating disorder to facing trauma and having things that I didn't know how to work through come up and when I struggle with my mental illness and go through depression or fear or relationships. So I put me out there and I allow the people that I'm meant to help to come to me. So that's unique. Most people aren't that transparent. Most people won't take that risk.
Right. Why is that?
It's human nature. We live in a world where you have to be really put together. I mean, think about Instagram. Everyone puts their best selves out there. Whereas I'm willing to say, hey, this might be a gorgeous picture of me, mm-hmm. but these are the steps I went through to do it. Mm-hmm. And I'm thankful for all of these women that allow me this opportunity to model or to be where I'm at today. That's very unique. I'm extremely humble, and I know what it's like to be fragmented. I know what it's like to be broken, and I don't put myself on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. I'm not an expert. I'm learning too. I'm growing too, and I will grow alongside you. There will be times within my coaching process that I will not know what to do. There will be times that my client will know more than me on something, and I'll have to take that in and suck my teeth into it. And then there will be times where I'm this fireball, and it's like we going rear through this, girl. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's unique. I'm so authentic that you really get my truth, and my truth like mirrors you to yourself, right? Because I'll ask those questions, but I'll also assist you with the process of seeing your truth. You know?
Where does that boldness? You're pretty bold. Where does that boldness and that braveness come from? Where does it come from?
My healing process and me honoring what I'm here to do. I'm an extremely timid, shy person for the most part. I'm like 50-50. I'm 50 pretty much like this childlike individual that's sweet, that doesn't want to ruffle any feathers. You know, like a lot of women. I'm 50% just this good girl. And then I'm 50% this lioness that has to do what I have to do and can't give up and will see things through no matter what, you know? So I'm just honoring my spirit, and I've healed enough of the things from my past that I'm able to.
Mm-hmm. Okay, ferocious, fierce, and ferocious out here. Okay, well, how are your services delivered? Do people come to you? You go to them? Can they access it online? How are you delivering?
I'm a virtual coach. Although I'm Cleveland based, and I'll probably do one-on-one workshops with people because they're here, I prefer virtually doing it because I can reach more people. I don't think that I'm only here to serve Cleveland based individuals, and I don't think that I need to physically be around someone for them to feel my essence and get what they need from me. Yeah.
Okay. Let's touch mental wellness.
Okay.
You have some background in mental health, so you've done case management before. Can you talk about that experience?
Yes, I have done case management in a variety, and counselor assisting, which can be kind of similar, in a variety of settings. I'm not sure what to tell you about it, though.
Well, it's leading into my next question, because you've been in the field. What is the difference between mental health and mental wellness? Why is there a difference?
So, within the Black community, we don't like to talk about mental health at all. It's a taboo topic. We shut down on it, right? I think as a therapist, I will address mental health. I think that mental health is like when you finally need some type of treatment or assistance, which we need at all given times, right? Because we're on a continuum. As a coach, I like to discuss mental wellness because it's really observative of this continuum, right? I think that at some points your mental health is pretty clear, you know, and other times it gets a little sniffly, like seasonal allergies. And then in the middle, you kind of get that common cold, and when it's really severe and you're getting diagnosed and it's really getting in the way of you having a sustainable life, it's like a cancer, right? An intense illness. And so if you could see it as a wellness that you can always fluctuate in and out of, it's a lot more easy to understand. And as a coach, I would say that it becomes mental health for me when we're beyond a common cold and we're into the virus to cancer zone. At that point, you need a clinician. At that point, it's out of my range to kind of coach you through, because it's more than just evolving your mindset. You might need other resources. You might need deeper treatment, because that sickness, like cancer, it takes multiple treatments, and it might not fully go away, but it will become manageable.
Okay. And mental health usually may need that clinical or medical treatment.
Yeah, it's a bit deeper, a bit intense. Yeah.
That's the difference. All right. Why is mental wellness a focus? Why is this so important to a journey full of health?
Because it has been my experience and also my observation that everything starts in the mind. As a man thinketh, so is he, right? So if I want to make a change, even before I begin that process, I have to think through what that change is. I have to make the decision I want to make that change. I have to figure out what the process is. I have to think through resources, and I have to believe I can and I deserve the results of that change.
You know, you use the word healthy a lot.
Yes, yes.
I've noted that on your Instagram page and just having just regular conversation with you. What are you referring to? Is it beyond anything physical or clinical?
Absolutely. It's beyond good and bad. When I think of health, I think of whole. I think of well. I think of beneficial and not detrimental to myself. And that can relate to things such as nutrition and physical activity, as well as relationships, as well as behavior habits. Anything can tie back into health. So when I, as a person, when I make decisions for myself, I don't think, is this a good or a bad decision? Is it a great decision? Or so I think about, is this healthy for my well-being, spiritually, mentally, and physically?
What does it take to achieve mental wellness?
It depends on where you're at. It depends on what you're struggling with.
And it's a process that may not always be, it's continuous.
Yep.
What are you doing to address mental wellness and promote it as a life coach? What are you doing? Or in your personal life, what are you doing?
So for myself, I'll say what I have done and where I'm at right now. So originally, without knowing, A Journey Full of Health, that weight loss journey, it wasn't just weight loss. I was focusing on wanting to be a more positive person, wanting to be more likable, wanting to not ruin as many relationships, wanting to grow spiritually. And that was my foundation in addressing my mental health, because I had to ask some pretty challenging questions and change some habits, right? Once I realized I had an eating disorder, I went to treatment for it. I went to a residential facility for a couple months, and then I did intensive outpatient, and then I went to regular therapy weekly. After that, I went to therapy every couple of weeks. So I spent about maybe a year and a half going to therapy. I also read self-help books. I also nutritionally balanced myself out, because as we know, like, some foods are really sugary, and when you have a lot of sugar, you go up and then you dive down.
Yeah.
And that could lead to depressive feeling symptoms. Other things I did, like present day, to maintain my mental health, I consider the type of food I eat. I remain physically active. I do affirmations. I lean on my spirituality a lot. When I come into something that is very triggering to me, I ask myself, why? Why does this bother me? And when did it happen in my childhood? And that's how I address things that I think are issues present day, but it's really just tugging at something, a wound that I haven't fully healed.
Who is life coaching for? Is it for the people who has it all together?
It's for anybody. It's for anybody
or
that
who doesn't have it all together.
Yeah, it's for anybody. Like, it can be for someone that's in recovery. It could be for someone that just wants to be healthier and get some type of physical results or mental results. It's for anybody that wants to tap into their best self. Someone that's able to say, hey, this life is cool, but I'm ready to elevate. I'm ready to get closer to who I'm meant to be.
So I kind of pulled some very interesting information off your IG.
Oh, goodness.
On IG, you recently posted that you were struggling with being a life coach. Because the ones who need your services can't afford it.
Yep.
Who are your clients? And tell us, what is the struggle there? What did that mean?
While I will serve anybody God calls me to serve, I am passionate about helping Black women. Right? And a lot of times, Black women, first of all, we don't think we need mental health services, but it's becoming more and more common in our community, and I'm going to be a pusher of that continuously. We don't think that the things we're going through are unhealthy. We don't think our relationships are unhealthy. We understand the food isn't healthy, but we don't care enough to address it, right? And so it's hard for us to sow a seed into that. It's hard for us to rationalize investing money into that. So we are an underserved community. Even when we hit middle class, we're still underserved. We're still facing oppression and things that cause us to struggle financially, more so than our white counterparts. So that's also what I'm talking about. It's the financial poverty, but also just the emotional and mental poverty of like, I'm going to do this. I want to follow through. I want to invest in myself. I deserve it.
On your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing all my research on you.
We hitting everything today.
You said that there's a need for encouragement.
Mm-hmm.
What is that need, and what is that need, and how does a journey full of health meet that need really quickly?
That need is just a need to be inspired. The need to see that this is possible, that I can tap into hope and creativity again, and I can reach towards those things that I know are best for me. There's a need for that. And a Journey Full of Health provides that all the time through YouTube videos, through Instagram posts, through Facebook posts, just by me doing it. I'm doing it and other people are doing it. And I'm willing to give you this quote, this meme, this message so you can tap into that for yourself.
Well, there you have it, Cleveland. This is her calling. This is her business. She is here to help meet the need.
Absolutely.
So, Bianca, you tell them, where can they reach out to you? How can they reach out to you?
My email is ajourneyfulofhealth@gmail.com. I also have an Instagram and YouTube with the same names, A Journey Full of Health. Whichever outlet is best for you, even if it's DMing me on Instagram will work.
And can they check out your new modeling project?
Oh my goodness, yes. You'll see Olivia. You'll see my personal / modeling page. Sometimes I tag it on A Journey Full of Health. It's Bianca Jasmine, JAZMINE. On Instagram.
Well, there you have it, Cleveland. Thank you for tuning in to Good Day with Olivia. This is Olivia Winston signing off. I'll see you next week.
Bye.